this is a Golden Gate ficus that I bought. From what I've seen on a few things, it's supposedly a microcarpa variety of ficus. I'm not exactly sure on that, but that's the information I'm going off of. I do know it's a, they told me it was a Golden Gate one when I bought it. I got it for about $10. I got it in January. It's been doing all right. There was some, as you can see when it was coming out, there are some leaves, older leaves that came out at one point when I got it that they're little, I mean, these are just new leaves, so they're lighter. Okay, as you can see, some of these they've got the little yellowing and dark green, which shows there was something with the tree. I don't know if it could have been something that was done right before it got it. It was its shipping. I know the place that got him in fairly recently, so before that. So these were leaves that came out about the time I got it. These have come out since. They're lighter green, but they're just lighter green because they're new leaves. These other ones, most of the time that's some kind of thing of a deficiency of something. Maybe it might just not have been getting enough fertilizer or something as it was growing. I mean, the leaves are pretty much fine, other they look bad. So I haven't taken them off yet because I wasn't worried about that. I mean, other than that, it's growing pretty good. I think the only thing that has died off was this branch here died off. I don't know why, but everything else was fine, and I've even gotten a new sprout here. But this doesn't matter because I think these two branches are going in favor of a canopy up here and then a thing down here. I also got a little root that came out here. I've been keeping this in I built a little tent in my bathroom under some lights that I've been using in the last couple months. When some of my trees I was keeping inside, like the over the winter, the honeysuckle and the Chinese elms, because I just didn't want to take the risk of killing the elms again, like I did a couple years ago with some other ones that got left out in my weather. This year, those might have been fine to leave out and then just bring them in when I got a couple cold spells. They might have done just fine. I'm just kind of gun shy on that because I killed two of them by leaving them out too long in the fall, and I forgot about them. So we're gonna repot this. We probably will cut these branches off because I don't want them. I don't really think I want anything that low on it. Like it maybe if something budded in here and we developed some things, but I don't like these are a little too low. So these are gonna probably go. That'll probably go. We'll clean up maybe something like that. We're gonna repot it because it's got this weird one that comes out, curves back around on itself. I want to get rid of. I don't like the soil it's in. It's just too wet for me. It stays a little too wet for me. I am going to put probably a little more the fine bark in the soil, and maybe I was going to try some of the turfus, which is smaller particles, and I find the turfus soil has been staying more moist. So I mean, this could use a little more moisture in it, but this I think is too wet, especially when it starts going outside and we get rains. I get rain sometimes. I get plenty of rain here, so this will stay, I think, too damp because it's even watering it. I've only been watering it like once every week and a half to two, and it's kind of still staying too wet to some point. At some points indoors. So, and it's just in this cheap plastic, it's a good starter tree. It's not anything to write home about, but it's a good starter tree, especially for what I got it for, I think. But I'm going to get out of this thing. I have a pot I bought for it. This was from the same guy I bought the Iker pottery. I'll put the name on this one, and I'm probably already had it in the. I'll have it in the video before this. I'll put the name on there of this pot. You can go online and you can order if you want. But I like this pot. It was nice. It's this dark green. Sounds nice. I love ringing nice pots. I think it cost me like $70. It's nice and shallow, which is what I want for this. I think I want this in a fairly shallow pot. I think it'd do just fine. That would also help with being able to keep it moist, moist as it would like for its roots, but not. It'll dry out better, so it's not staying really wet like this stuff is. So I'll get everything set up. Okay, I got us a little closer in on this. This plastic pot would be nice to keep around. I mean, I don't want this one in a. I think this is a good place to put. When I bought the pot, I probably would have just put it back in this pot if I hadn't found a pot that I really liked for it. But still, it's good. It'll be a good training pot for the future. So there's that. And then I want to show you one thing about these. It's what I like about this guy's pots. He puts plenty of wiring holes in this. It's only got one big hole in the middle for this, but a lot of them only do because they're round and they're not big enough. I mean, that way it would be hard to put a more than one drainage hole in this. They're big. These will work also as drainage holes. And this pot really does good to shed down, so all the water should go through there. But I like, if I'm going to, I don't always tie in trees, but when I do, I like to have plenty of options. I mean, I may not use all these. I just put the wires through because it will be way easier to have the wires there and pull them out later if I don't need them. So, but this is a shallow pot, so it's going to have tied in. Unlike some of the other stuff, I usually get away just fine. I have never had a problem with any of the ones I've chose to not tie in. Had a problem with them. I mean, some do need a little bit of holding up with rocks for a while, but I am not a great. I've never been able to wire trees in good anyways, so mine aren't in rock solid anyways, so what movement I'm going to have them not in there propped up with rocks is not going to be any different than I tied them in, because I have never been able to master the tying in of a tree. So I use my judgment and don't always do it. So let's get the soil out of here. See what we got for roots. Yeah, some of the soil is roots in the soil is quite compact around that. So there's the wire. I had cut the wire out and pulled it out of the pot already. This was in a smaller pot before this, because all these that's why this roots like this. They just quickly planted it in that other thing to sell it. Because it's in two different kinds of soil. This is more nursery soil. That soil that had more grit in it than this stuff that I'm going through now. And these roots are just compacted in there. What I'm going to do before we go any further, I'm just going to cut. Don't know if we're going to even try to use any of this root or not, but I'm going to cut it off here for now and pull it out. Ugh, we got some bugs in here, it looks like. Oh no, that's just, I don't know what that is. Might be like bug eggs or something, I don't know. Don't know what it was. Could be some kind of bug eggs. Yeah, that makes it a lot easier to tease some of this stuff out. Not that in there. And we've got another something else here. I'm just gonna kind of. This is kind of going in the wrong direction, also. So, I'm just gonna try to cut. I'm just gonna try cutting some of this out. Yeah, this was root bound, never touched, and thrown into a bigger pot, and very little of those roots had, I don't know if it had even been in there long, because there wasn't a lot of roots in there. So, I mean, the roots look fine, they were not filling that pot that it came out of. So, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna rinse this out with some water. I'll be right back. Okay, we can see in here now better. I can see a lot of these roots. There is a big tap root in here, it looks like. So this was most likely not a cutting. Unless that's just something that's just a piece down that looks like it. But that looks very much like a taproot to me. Yeah, they were not dead. That tree was not done any justice in how it was. The roots were terrible on it. I didn't think they were going to be great though. See what we can get. Okay, we're going to switch to some scissors now. And these are all just going down, so I'm just going to clip them out on the underneath here. And then this is going down. I don't think I can get it up. That was actually all stuff not connected to that. Now, I would like to do more to this, but I don't think I am. I'm pushing it, I think, for what I've taken off already. Just going to trim this back a little bit. We have this as a possible root. This is still alive. It could be a possible root in the future, so I will keep that. Eventually, this or this is going to have to go. Probably this, but I'm going to keep these again. There's roots on all of this. This would have to be clipped because it's going too far down. This might go in favor of that, but like I said, I am going to hold off on that and let this recover. I'm going to put this back in the tent I have it in for now, so that'll help hold moisture in for it and stuff. And we won't have to worry about it drying out. Push this stuff over here. And I'm going to go get the other pot and I'll be right back. This will be the front because there's a little bit of movement. I know you can't see it totally, but we'll show you it once I get it wired in and done up. Trying to see. Gonna actually have to cut some of this off because I do want this lower, but I don't think there's much on there. I'm gonna put this right on the bottom of the pot for now, and actually bury it further down than it was to start with. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna need all these. There, that holds in pretty good without doing anything yet. What we're going to do is we are going to work the soil in and down so I can see what we're doing. I am definitely not using all these wires. there's more wires than I need here. This is just not gonna wire in with that many wires. Like I said, though, I can always pull the wires out. Pulling them out is way easier than trying to put them in after you get started. So, pull these tight. I use these two roots as anchor points for now. I'm thinking that will be the only wire I put in. Say it's holding it. I don't know where any other wire would go. There's nothing else to... Unless I put one across this way too. But I think... I've had trees way less. I've had way worse. I can tighten that probably a little more. I don't like tightening too much because the time I've also tightened wires too much, I have like marred the roots to the point where, to me, it defeats the purpose of even worrying about tying them in, because the whole reason to tie them in is to keep the roots from being broken off. But if you destroy a root that you have to end up taking off later because you can't make it into a surface root, who cares? To me, that's the other reason I have a habit of not tying things in all the time. So we're going to pull these wires out and I'll be right back. There we go. Okay, so it's kind of wired in. Like I said, kind of. I still didn't get it. I don't like it. Sometimes you need it, but it'll still be propped up it'll still be propped up in my good old-fashioned way of a rock. Because it's really loose. And I really don't understand how the hell you're supposed to get these in without destroying a root. I will probably come back to this, and I will most likely cut both of those roots off because they will be damaged beyond use as a... that is really why I don't like wiring in. I've never had any luck with wires for the most part. I only use it occasionally when I really need it. And it'll really work. And it didn't even work that good in this case, so. I know a lot of people that get away without wires. And I honestly don't get away without wires. Once you get a good root system in, I find you don't really need wiring anymore a lot of times. Like I said, maybe some rocks to prop it up for a time, for a month or so to get stuff in there, but I really just, like I said, I don't really like wires. To me, they seem to do more damage if you don't have a big root system or a bit of a thick root system. Yeah, putting the soil in, that's actually in there tighter now than it was with just the wire. So, like I said, how you do it, I have no idea. I've watched people do it. I use that same technique of twist, pull, pull, twist, and it still doesn't work for me. So, I am going to find a rock, and I'll be right back. I cut the lower branches off without remembering to adjust the camera, so we'll just work on the top. I took everything off below this because I don't really want things that low. I do want a tall canopy. It's got a little bit of curve, which is nice. That's what I want. We're gonna take this branch back here off in favor of this smaller one here. I like the positioning of that one better. So I'm gonna take that off here for now. Clean it up a little bit. On the sides, we are going to clean this cut mark up a little bit. Let me look at it some more. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to take any more branches off right now. We're good. I am going to cut some of the stuff off the top and let it, hopefully maybe we can get some back budding in some spots. Some of the stuff is a little longer than I'd want without a thing, so I'm just going to clip back all of these, most of these. This I'm not going to touch. It's not enough on it for me to want to touch right now. Cut this back to here. We'll cut that back to there. We'll leave this one. There's not a lot on that. There's not a lot on this. Honestly, this branch I don't like, so. I don't like this branch, but we're going to keep it for now until I find some solution for it. I don't like how this bend in here, and there's nothing below. This part doesn't bother me, but that part does. But what we're going to do for now is we're just going to cut this back to these 3 branches on top. And then we're going to give all of them a cut back to hopefully promote a little back budding for me. And then we will cut the top of this one off. We will cut a little bit off of this one. So, a little off this. So, and we'll cut a little off that. And then we'll come back at a later time, maybe finally style it. I would say we're not really styling it now, so get that, we get this, and then this. That out of there. Okay. We got that. Yeah, I think overall that looks better now. We've got the root, we got it down lower, so hopefully we can get maybe roots up a little higher, easier. Although we've seen that other one kind of, because I would like my ficus. I don't want to I don't know. I don't really want, I don't know if I'm going after like aerial roots up here, but some lower aerial roots might look nice on this one, I think. I'm just kind of and we're going to go for like an umbrella look of this. I'll bring her back. You can see the whole tree this way. Back. Now we'll rotate it around, and I'll show you what it looks like. And some of these wounds, I will put a little bit of cut paste on them, just so they heal better. I find some people say yes on cut paste, some people say no, but I kind of like it. I find they do heal. They seem to heal better. I think it just keeps them from drying out, and they'll heal over a little easier. Just my opinion, just my look on stuff. Small ones I don't bother, but big ones I do. So we will now water this. I'll water this before I take it back in, and I do always water my trees after I repot them. Don't always show it because I don't really show it because I don't think A, anybody wants to see it. B, I'd have to set it up in a different place because I usually do multiple projects here at a time, and I don't want to get everything wet watering them. So I usually just wait and water everything off to the side after I'm done. So that's that. If you enjoyed yourself, like, subscribe, hit the bell, comment, and I will see you next time.